Plug the sound in. I'll reload the page and hope everything worked right. And hey, look at that. We gotta check the volume. Okay, we're good. Okay. Hi, Russ. Russ is my sound man. He always checks the sound for us. All right. So it's Tuesday again. Time for the T350 show. And check everything here and make sure we're in a good spot. Okay. So how's everybody doing? We'll give a couple minutes for anybody who's going to join us to join in. We got a couple, huh? So, I hope everybody's doing well, staying healthy, and staying out of trouble, right? Hunting season's here. I'm going to be out next week. Andy will probably be in here. I'm not sure if he's going to do a trivia show with some giveaways or what he's planning on, but
Stay tuned.
I will. Yeah, stay tuned. I'm going to be out doing a little rut hunting next week. The deer are starting to get a little frisky around here. They're starting to move. I almost hit an 8-point the other morning on the way to work, and then I almost hit a doe the same night on the way home. So they're roaming. They're starting to move a little bit, and I imagine by next week it'll be good. I saw some of your pictures, Russ, from up in the tree stand there up in New York. That was neat.
Yep. So you blew up 3 drills, kind of drills.
My big buck has disappeared. The big 8-point that I've had on camera for a while now. My daughter's calling me. She's gonna have to wait. Yeah, he disappeared on me a little over a week ago, about 8 or 9 days ago now, and hasn't been seen on camera since. So I don't know what to think of that. I'm hoping he's just out roaming around, but I'm fearful he now resides in somebody else's freezer. So that's hunting, right? It happens. So we finished up our series last week on the hunting AR, and over the next few weeks while I'm in and out here, I'll be out next week, then I'll be back for a week or two, and then I'll be out again at the end of the month for gun season. We're going to take a look at this first week here. Should you build or should you buy an AR? Right, that's what we do here. It's BYOAR, build your own AR, and you know, the age-old question, right? A lot of people think the age-old question is, why are we here? What are we doing here? What is our purpose? You know, and no, that's not the real question. You know, the real question is, should I buy or build an AR? So we're going to take a look at the pros and cons of both sides of that argument. And then we'll look at some of the common mistakes of building your own AR. And then we'll also look at, let me think, what did I have planned? I had build or buy, common mistakes, and then there was another topic we were going to cover. Oh, when to know you're in over your head, and when to get a professional involved. When you've gotten in too far and you still can't figure stuff out, when should you throw in the towel and get the professional gunsmith, armorer involved? So we're going to take a look at those topics in the coming weeks. But for right now, we're going to talk about should you build or should you buy. We're going to take a look at buying an AR first, right? Which is what a lot of people do. The typical progression is that someone buys their first AR, right? Because they're not sure if they can build one. They don't know, is it really complicated? It looks really complicated. It looks really expensive. I got to buy a lot of tools. I got to do a lot of this. I got to do a lot of that. And they talk themselves out of it. I did not buy my first one. I built my first one. And I actually don't own an AR that I bought complete. Every AR that I own, I have built. It's not that difficult, but that's up to the individual. But okay, so in determining, right? So you're going to buy an AR for your first one. You're buying something that's ready to go. It's on the shelf. It's been, hopefully, if you buy from a reputable dealer, someone who has good quality control and has a good reputation in the industry, you're getting a rifle that has been built to specification. It has been test fired. It has been put through all the rigmarole to make sure that you're getting the best possible rifle when you buy it off the shelf. You get a warranty, right? If something's wrong with it, you can take that gun back and say, here, fix this. Depending on the brand you buy, warranties, quality control. I do have a few notes here. That's why you'll see me looking down a little bit, so I don't forget anything. But, you're getting something that out of the box is going to require a minimal amount of work for you to make it work and to make it shoot good for you. When you buy an off-the-shelf rifle, you should be able to take it to the range and load it and start firing immediately and not have any issues. Obviously, you're going to want to lube it up good and do a couple of things to it before you start that break-in process. But, you should have a rifle that's ready to go out of the chute. The downside to buying one, and it's not so bad right now. Things have calmed down a little bit, but over the last couple of years, we've seen unprecedented gun sales, and it caused high demand and low inventory. So you were stuck with maybe not being able to get one. If you could get one, maybe it wasn't the greatest of quality. The good stuff was all sold out. You were kind of stuck with what was there, right? It wasn't exactly what you wanted, but this is what they had, so okay, give me that one. So you're getting the rifle that the manufacturer builds, unless you go to like one of these boutique shops where they'll say, they'll build you the rifle the way you want it, but you will pay a premium for that. But your off-the-shelf Ruger AR-556s, your off-the-shelf Smith & Wesson MPs, they're going to come with the plastic clamshells. They're going to come with mil-spec everything. They're going to come with a mil-spec stock. They're going to be a plain, basic, generic AR-15. And, if you want that, the extra stuff, now you've got to start buying pieces, parts, and paying somebody to change them out, or learning how to change them out yourself. And again, that's what a lot of the guys and gals do. They buy that first AR, they shoot it for a little while, they play with it, they learn how to clean it, they learn how to operate it, they learn a bunch of stuff about it, and then they're like, okay, I want to change out the handguard. And they start to acquire the tools to change out the handguard. And then they get a handguard and they get a gas block, and they watch a bunch of YouTube videos, and next thing you know, they've changed out their handguard. Okay, now I want to change out a buttstock, and they do the same thing. They get the tools they need, they get the parts they need, they watch a bunch of videos, and then they change out the buttstock. You do 4 or 5 of these upgrades, parts additions, whatever you want to call them, and next thing you know, you're thinking, okay, this isn't too bad. I think I can do this. I'm ready to build my own AR, right? So that's how it usually starts. The other thing is that, you know, you're not going to, you know, do you have the time and the resources to invest in building an AR? And, you know, typically you can build an AR cheaper than you can buy one. And I'm not saying that, okay, you can buy a Ruger 5.56 or an M&P for, in today's prices, you know, $750, you know, $750 to $800. You can buy that off the shelf rifle. You're going to spend the same amount of money to build the rifle that you want, but you're going to get more for the money that you spent. Okay, you're going to get the free float handguard, and you're going to get the extended charging handle. You're going to get the 11-degree grip. You're going to get a bad lever. You're going to get a minimalist stock. You're going to get a foregrip. You're going to get a muzzle device. You're going to get these different things that you wanted in that rifle, but you're going to get them right off the rip and spend probably about the same amount of money as you would for that stock rifle. So now, the other thing you're going to invest in is tools. At a minimum, you're going to need, you know, $200, $300, $400, $500 worth of tools to build an AR properly. You know, this isn't something that you just take a wrench and a pair of pliers and you put together, right? You need punches, you need starter punches, you need torque wrenches, you need armorer's wrenches, you need vices, you need vice blocks. There's a host of tools that you need to do this job properly. Okay, you're creating a small bomb, right? There's a bomb that goes off in here, basically. Inside this chamber, there's a small bomb, 60,000 PSI is what happens inside a chamber of an AR-15. I believe I'm correct in that number. You know, this isn't something you want to haphazardly throw up against your face and have a small explosion happen inches in front of your face. You want to make sure this thing is put together properly, everything's torqued properly, everything's spec'd properly. You know, and you want to understand the tolerance stacking, and, you know, okay, well, this doesn't fit quite right. You know, and I hear a lot of guys, I see a lot of people on the forums, different places, they'll say, oh yeah, just take a Dremel and grind that off, or grind this off, and, you know, you'll be fine. Man, you know, you shouldn't have to do that, right? You shouldn't have to be grinding and Dremeling on anything. You know, maybe grinding the ears off of a handguard if the handguard doesn't fit, or something like that. But when it comes to the internals, you know, the fire control mechanism, the bolt carrier group, the barrels, you don't want to be grinding on anything, right? If something doesn't fit, stop and figure out why, figure out what's out of spec. You know, maybe you got to send parts back. Maybe, you know, just know that these things are designed to go together. They're not, you know, I hear a lot of people say, oh, they're like Legos for adults. Well, they can get to be like Legos for adults once you've done a few of them, and they become much easier to do, and you have a complete understanding of them. But right off the rip, they're not exactly like Legos. Okay, so there is some there's some science, there's some stuff you need to know, and there's some stuff you need to do properly to make sure that you're safe and that you're not hurting yourself or somebody around you. Let me think here. Let me check my notes. We talked about tools, right? So knowledge, right? You know, do you have the knowledge to understand how to build an AR? And most of us, when we first start, don't, right? When I first did, I'm like, ooh, can I do this? Can I really build an AR, right? It seems, or can you build a gun yourself? Well, you know, when you start watching videos, Brownells, Midway, a lot of these places have very extensive libraries of videos, and they break down every little thing for you and show you exactly how to do everything. So there's a host of information out there, just a ton of videos you can watch. Get your information from a trusted source. You know, some guy building an AR on his bench and showing you, hey, this is how you do this. Well, you know, maybe he's right, maybe he's not. But if you go to Brownells or Midway or one of those places like that and look at their library of how to build an AR, you're going to get good, solid information, right? And that's what you want. Again, this is a gun. It can be dangerous. You know, any of us that were in the military, right? I drove tank in the military, and the first time we drew tanks out of the motor pool, and we had our first training class. You know, obviously you start out as a driver. I'll never forget, right? One of the first things the sergeant at the range told us, he said, this is a, you know, 50, 60 ton machine, whatever it was, and its purpose is to kill. It is designed to kill, and it doesn't care who it kills. It will kill you as dead as it will kill your enemy. If you screw up and you aren't careful and you aren't watching what you're doing, this machine will kill you, and it won't even blink. It doesn't care. So, you know, and a gun is the same way. It doesn't care. Its purpose, it has a purpose, it has an intent, and if you're not careful with it and do things properly, it can hurt you or someone else, or even kill you or someone else. So, you know, watch those videos, watch them a lot, make sure you understand. You know, when I was building my first one, I'd watch the video and then I'd do, right? I'd do, okay, and how do I do that? All right, wait a minute, and then go back and watch the video again. Okay, right, okay, I got that, right, okay, I'm good. And then move on to the next step, one step at a time. And now I don't need anything. I don't need a video. I don't need any kind of instructions. You put down an AR, all the AR parts in front of me that I need to build a rifle, and in about 45 minutes, you're gonna have a rifle. I don't, you know, I've done enough of them now that I don't need any kind of, I know exactly where every one of these, just on sight, I know exactly where every one of these little springs go. I know where every one of these little detents go. I know where every one of these roll pins go, just on sight, because I've done this enough. And, you know, hopefully that's where you get someday with this as well, that you can do this without any kind of instructions or videos. You know, we talked about tools, right? You're going to invest $400 or $500, $300, $400, $500 in tools, and you think, wow, that's a lot of money in tools to build a rifle. You know, next thing you know, my $700, $800 rifle is now costing me $1,000, $1,200. Yes. Nobody builds just one AR, right, Russ? Nobody builds just one AR. You know, maybe, I shouldn't say nobody, but most people don't just build one AR. You're going to build another one. You're going to build a different caliber. You're going to do maintenance. You're going to do upgrades. You're going to help your buddies. You know, those tools will get used over and over again. So that's not a sunk cost. That's not $400 or $500 that you're going to use one time and never use again. I promise you, you'll use it again, right? Russ says for sure. You build a rifle, you make it go bang, you harvest a deer with it, you harvest a coyote with it, whatever it might be, and you're like, that is so cool. Right now, okay. Now I've got my coyote rifle. Now I need a deer rifle. Now I need a 308. Now I need a big game rifle, right? And, you know, and next thing you know, you've got 4 or 5 of these things that you've built, and you've amortized the cost of those tools out over all of those builds. So don't think that you're throwing money away by buying those tools that you're going to use one time, because I promise you, you'll use them more than once. So, you know, make sure that when you buy parts, you know, we live in an instant gratification society. And if you really want to save money building an AR, it takes time. Okay. Watch for sales, you know. Maybe you have all the money all at once, right? I've got $1,000. Here it is. I'm ready to go. I'm going to buy everything I need. You know, you know, instant gratification tells me that I need everything right now and I'm going to do this, boom, boom, boom. Well, you know, maybe you've left a couple $100 on the table doing that. waiting for sales, right? Keeping notifications on different companies when parts come back in stock or when parts go on sale, logging into the different sites, primary weapons, or primary arms, so on, different places that you want to buy parts from, logging in there once or twice a week and checking, right? Has stuff gone on sale, getting signed up for their email blasts, so hey, all of a sudden bulk carrier groups are on sale for $20 off. Let me buy one. So you have saved myself $20. Let me, and if you can resist that urge of instant gratification, you can save yourself quite a bit of money building an AR if you wait for those sales and wait for those parts to come up that you don't want to pay full price for, right? So there's a good tip there for saving money. Making sure that you follow the manufacturer's recommendations if you're building a part. If you're building a gun, a lot of companies, good reputable company is going to stand behind their stuff. But you got to make sure you install the stuff properly, right? If you twist up a spring or crush a detent or something like that, they're not going to warranty that. Okay, you're kind of on the hook for that part. So there's another downside to building your own AR, is understanding that when you mess something up, you're on the hook for that. Okay, when you buy the AR ready to go and something, hey, this broke, right? I was shooting this and this thing broke. Send it back and they'll fix it, right? And they know, right? We know. We deal with parts all the time, and we deal with people that say, hey, I got this trigger and it won't release, and it's not firing properly, or it's double tapping, triple tapping on me. All right, fine, send it back. We'll send you a new one, and we get it back, and it's pretty obvious that they took a file to some places. We got one in not too long ago, and it was very obvious that somebody had done some things to this trigger that they shouldn't have been doing, and they caused damage to it. We didn't grouse, we had already sent the other one out. We had gotten this one back. We were just glad to get the trigger back that wasn't going to go full auto on somebody, and get them, a product in their hand that was working for them. So, we know when we get parts back in if somebody's done something that they shouldn't have, especially as the manufacturer. As a retailer, maybe you don't always know that, but as the manufacturer, we make the parts right out here on the floor. We understand and we know when somebody's done something like that. So, watching the warranties, watching for sales. Okay, so quick recap: build versus buy, right? If you're not sure, I recommend you buy one. Okay, if you're not sure if you can do this, if you're not sure you can invest the time or the resources into doing it properly, then I recommend you buy one, and then slowly work your way up to building one. Buying the tools over a course of time, getting to know the rifle inside and out, understanding exactly how it works, and then work your way towards building that rifle someday that you want. If you're confident that you're mechanically inclined, and you've watched a bunch of videos and you feel confident that you can do this, and you're willing to spend the money to get the right tools, and you're up for the challenge, then yeah, build one. Okay. Avoid instant gratification. Watch for sales. Buy the parts and the stuff you need over time. You'll save yourself a bunch of money that way. Black Friday sales, Memorial Day sales, Labor Day sales. A lot of the big companies have all these sales every year, every holiday. That if you watch, you can save yourself a bunch of money. Understanding warranties, understanding manufacturers' warranties, making sure just do your research, right? You hear me say that all the time when I'm talking about doing upgrades or doing whatever it is we do. Research. you know, most of us know somebody who's built one of these. And as someone who's built one, if somebody comes to me and says, hey, I want to build my own rifle, I'm going to buy a kit, can you show me how to do it? Absolutely, right? Absolutely. We're going to come over. You can come over to my place, use my tools. If you bought all the tools, we'll go over to your garage and, you know, we'll get this thing done. And I'll walk you through it and I'll show you how to do it. I'm not going to do it for you because, one, I can't. That makes me a manufacturer and I'm not allowed to do that. And two, you're going to learn more doing it yourself than you will by watching me do it for you. Okay? You know, I worked out here on the floor for years before I started moving into the management position here, running this company. And I always had a firm rule out on the floor when I was teaching somebody how to do something. You know, I wasn't going to show them, I wasn't going to do it for them and let them watch me do it. I was going to make them do it, and I would actually let them struggle a little bit, right? As long as I was watching them and I knew they weren't going to hurt themselves or the machine, I would let them make mistakes and I wouldn't say anything, because you learn more by making a mistake than you do by having somebody just walk you through and show you how to do something. When you make a mistake and you realize, hey, I put that pin in backwards, now I've got to disassemble 5 things to get that pin back out of there and put it back in the right way. I'll never do that again, right? Because I'm going to remember, don't put that pin in backwards. Now, if somebody's showing me how to do that and they put that pin in backwards and they take it all apart and then I'm ready to do it, well, there's a chance I'm going to put that pin in backwards because I wasn't really paying attention. I was Googling on my phone, you know, whatever it was. You're going to learn more by making your own mistakes than you ever will by watching somebody else make them. Okay? So, build versus buy. Totally a personal decision and one that you have to come up with on your own. Are you ready to do it? It's an addictive hobby. Russ will tell you it's an addictive hobby. Upgrading them, switching parts around, building around, and there's nothing more satisfying than building your own rifle, taking it out, and having it go bang, and then taking it out. You know, I've harvested a couple deer with this rifle. Very, very satisfying. Building your own rifle, taking it out hunting, and harvesting an animal with that is just like one of the coolest things ever. So that's build versus buy. Like I said, Andy will be in here next week, probably doing some trivia or something and giving some parts away. And then I'll be back in a couple weeks and we'll talk about the mistakes that you can make in building a rifle and how to avoid those mistakes. And I'll give you some tips and tricks and different things that I do when I'm building to make sure that I don't make those mistakes, whether it be nicking up my anodizing or just whatever. There's all kinds of little things you can do to make sure that you don't make mistakes when you're doing this. So appreciate you guys, the few of you that joined me today. And don't forget, if you're a hunter, we'd love to, and you harvest something, we'd love to see your pictures of you, your rifle, and your harvest. And if not, we'd love to see pictures of you and your rifle. You always do an architect of the week thing, and we haven't had a lot of submissions lately. So if you've built something cool or new lately, send us a picture, and maybe we'll feature you on our social medias. So that's it. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. And remember, you don't have to be an expert to build your own AR, to upgrade it or maintain it. And we're here to help you do that. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Bye.